Hi, I'm Rob Vanstone, and today we're talking about the best home openers in Saskatchewan Roughriders history. I'd hoped to make this a top 10 list. However, when I went through the home openers year by year, I ended up with 13 that are especially noteworthy. So here are the 13 home openers that comprise our top 10 list. Let's start with 1951. The Roughriders beat Calgary 8-1 in a driving rainstorm in the regular season opener. The game was far from a classic. Actually, it was a mess. So why do I even mention it here? Because it was the first game in a Rough Rider uniform for Glenn Dobbs, who was such a phenomenally popular member of the Rough Riders from 1951 to 53. Regina and even Saskatchewan ended up being dubbed Dobberville because Glenn Dobbs was so hugely popular, and that 1951 victory over Calgary was in essence the beginning of the Dobberville era. Let's fast forward to 1965. The Rough Riders once again played Calgary in the regular season opener. Calgary led 18-0 before Ron Lancaster threw 3 touchdown passes to help the Rough Riders win 20-18. Now, how about 1973? The Rough Riders beat the BC Lions 38-19. The game was far from memorable except for one thing. George Reed scored his 107th touchdown, which moved him past Jim Brown and into first place all time in touchdowns in professional football history. 1974, the Rough Riders were facing the arch-rival Edmonton Eskimos in the regular season opener. Dave Cutler, a future Hall of Famer, lined up for a 41-yard field goal attempt with slightly less than 2 minutes left in the game. However, the Rough Riders' Lauren Richardson blocked the field goal, and the Rough Riders won 24-23. 1982 against BC. This one's a personal favorite. The Rough Riders lost 26-24 to the BC Lions. It really wasn't a game that stands out as one of the finest in Rough Riders history. But the best catch I've ever seen, a diving one-handed touchdown catch by Joey Walters, was part of that game. The 1988 home opener against Edmonton wasn't a classic by any means. The Rough Riders won 26-15. They didn't even score a touchdown. So why do I mention this game? Because Dave Ridgway kicked 8 field goals for Saskatchewan that day, tying his league single game record. Dave Ridgway was once again in the spotlight in the 1989 home opener against the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary led 26-6 early in the fourth quarter before the Rough Riders roared back on 3 touchdown passes by Tom Burgess, but it was Ridgway who kicked a 42-yard field goal with no time remaining to give the Rough Riders a 32-29 victory. The Riders opened the 1990 season against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It was a rematch of the 1989 Grey Cup, which the Rough Riders won 43-40 on a field goal by Dave Ridgway with 2 seconds remaining. While there was again drama in the 1990 regular season opener, with just under a minute left, Milson Jones scored a 33-yard touchdown on a draw play on 2nd and 10, and the Riders beat Hamilton 38-35. Let's go to 1993. The Rough Riders opened their home schedule against the Edmonton Eskimos. The Riders won 23-22. In the fourth quarter, Ken Austin threw a touchdown pass to Jeff Fairholm. Tremendously exciting game. But what stands out for me? Only 17,566 people were in the stands at Taylor Field that night. For a Rough Rider home opener, that's unimaginable now. The 1994 home opener was an amazing game, at least once the fourth quarter arrived. The Calgary Stampeders, quarterbacked by Doug Flutie, were leading 21-0. So you figure the game's over, right? Well, on the final play, Tom Burgess throws a 15-yard touchdown pass to Don Narcisse, Dave Ridgway kicks the convert, and the Rough Riders win 22-21. The 2001 home opener against the Hamilton Tiger Cats was an amazing game. Didn't look that way for a while. The Rough Riders were trailing 25-13 entering the fourth quarter. However, Marvin Graves, who was starting a quarterback for Saskatchewan after Henry Burris went to the National Football League, threw back-to-back touchdown passes to Curtis Marsh to put the Rough Riders ahead. The Tiger Cats, however, came back and Paul Osbaldiston hit a 35-yard field goal with 48 seconds left in the fourth quarter to put Hamilton ahead. The Rough Riders still had some time on the clock. Marvin Graves hit Curtis Marsh for 2 key receptions of 32 and 11 yards, and with 3 seconds remaining, Paul McCallum kicked a 40-yard field goal and gave the Riders a 30-28 victory over Hamilton. The 2010 home opener against Montreal is one of the great games in Rough Rider history. The Riders won 54-51 in double overtime in a rematch of the 2009 Grey Cup. The Riders trailed by 21 points. It didn't look good, but Darian Durant brought the team back. He ended up throwing for 481 yards and 5 touchdowns, both career highs in that game. Late in the fourth quarter, Darian Durant hit Andy Fantuz for a touchdown to force overtime, and then Darian Durant ended the game in double overtime by throwing a 3-yard touchdown pass to Weston Dressler, and the Rough Riders won 54-51. The Rough Riders again went into double overtime in their home opener in 2017. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers were in town. It was the first game at new Mosaic Stadium. Late in the fourth quarter, Kevin Glenn threw a touchdown pass to Naaman Roosevelt to force overtime. Riders ended up losing 43-40. They were disappointed with the outcome, but I don't think they were disappointed with the new stadium. So there you have it, 13 of the 10 best home openers in Saskatchewan Roughriders history. Thanks for joining us today. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you'd like, please press the little bell to be notified when more videos become available.